You know, that's why you have friends since first grade, and people play standards. You know what you should ask a person? You should ask them where their concept of a relationship is coming from. I took them to, because I was tied up on the day, I took them to like the Sugar Factory.
Is that a strip club?
It's something like that. It's almost like that for kids.
Did Lil Meech really throw his own future away? Or was he just a pawn in a twisted game run by top dogs like 50 Cent, Rick Ross, and Floyd Mayweather? Behind the flashy watches, the VIP parties, and those wild social media explosions, there's a way darker truth hiding in the shadows. This ain't just a story about fame gone wrong. It's about control, manipulation, and straight-up mind games. Lil Meech's journey pulls back the velvet curtain on an industry that chews up young stars and spits them out when they're no longer useful. The higher-ups, those rich, powerful names, are calling the shots while the young ones dance on a string. From his rapid rise under 50 Cent's wing to a shocking fall that nobody saw coming.
Because I don't think that it matters who's making more money. I think it matters the terms of the relationship, how you get involved in it, right? Because I think friendship is the strongest form of a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the concept is coming from tradition, then it may not naturally match up with the way we live right now. We live in non-traditional times. It's modern time.
That's no noise.
No noise. When you just feel a sharp pain in your, like you like sharp pain in your back, you know you're in the wrong place. You wasn't supposed to be in that yard.
Meech's path has been nothing but chaos and betrayal. One minute, he's the prince of BMF. The next, he's caught in scandals, reckless spending, and linking up with some shady folks who got everybody talking. But the deeper you look, the darker it gets. And you start to realize this might not be about bad choices. It might be about no real choices at all. Was Meech truly living wild? Or was he getting played like a puppet the whole time? Those who looked close saw the clues, patterns, power plays, and hidden agendas. His rise might have looked like freedom, but what if it was just another trap disguised as success? This ain't just about a young dude fumbling the bag. It's about a messed up system that grooms young stars to fail while pretending to lift them up. Was Meech just an easy target because of who his dad is? Or was his legacy the exact reason he got thrown into this crazy circus in the first place? Once you dig past the surface, the question hits hard. Was he ever really in control? Or was the script written before he even showed up? Section 1. Lil Meech's wild fallout with 50 Cent. At first, Meech looked like he was all in, loyal to the core, riding for 50 Cent like a real soldier. After all, 50 was the one who gave him that major shot with BMF, pulling him straight out of the shadows and into the game. But just like that, it all flipped. Out of nowhere, Meech is out here, chilling with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, two of 50's biggest rivals in the game. Fans were shook, like, why would Meech risk everything to hang with his mentor's enemies? That's when the whispers got louder. Some folks said Meech wasn't even behind the wheel of his own life. Word was, powerful people might have been using him to stir up old beefs, just to score points in their own little war. Was Lil Meech really moving shady? Or was he being pressured into switching sides? The way he suddenly flipped had everybody wondering if there were hidden motives creeping in from the shadows. What started out looking like smart business moves ended up torching his bond with 50 Cent for good. That whole shift felt way too suspicious, like something was pulling strings behind the scenes. This wasn't just some messy drama. It cracked open a bigger truth about how young artists get used, played, and tossed aside in a business where power rules and loyalty gets bought. One wrong move and they get canceled, while the real puppet masters stay untouchable. The industry's dirty, especially when you're young, trying to survive fake friends, real enemies, and the non-stop pressure to stay relevant. Section 2, the $5 million meltdown. Word on the street, Lil Meech ran through almost $5 million, gone in just 3 years. All that cash he made from BMF, poof, flashy cars, diamond-studded chains, designer outfits from head to toe. He was living like a king. But this wasn't just a young star wilding out with no control. A lot of folks say Meech didn't fall into the trap. He was led there. Whispers are flying that older, more powerful people in the industry hyped him up to chase that baller image, the designer lifestyle, the high-end flexing. It might have all been part of a setup. The goal? Keep him broke, needing help, and easy to control. Some insiders believe Meech was pushed into that big spender role to lock him into a cycle of dependence. They gave him a taste of luxury, then made sure he'd always need them to keep it up. That's not just shady. That's a strategy. His success might have been flipped into control the minute the money started flowing. This ain't just some cautionary tale about bad spending habits. It's a warning about how fast the industry can trap you with your own wins. All that drip, all that clout, it wasn't just for the fans, it was a silent leash. And now it's clear. Meech's money crash might not have been a random mistake. It could have been planned from day one. Section 3. The secret addiction and 50 Cent's intervention. Just when it looked like things couldn't get messier, it came out that Lil Meech was struggling with a serious addiction to whippets. That's when the red flags really started flying, and people began questioning how deep the damage went. Whippets? Yeah, that dangerous habit some celebs low-key glamorize like it's no big deal, turned into a straight-up crisis for Lil Meech. Out of nowhere, the streets were buzzing with reports that he was deep in it. Not just partying, we're talking full-on addiction. And then boom! 50 Cent steps in like a savior, paying for Meech's rehab and pushing him to get clean. Sounds noble, right? Like 50 was being a real one, holding his young protege down. But not everybody bought that story. People started giving that whole move a serious side-eye, wondering if this was really about help or control. 'Cause let's be real, when you save somebody at their lowest, it puts you in the power seat. So yeah, 50 looked like the hero to the public. But behind closed doors, some folks are saying he used that moment to tighten his grip even more. Helping Meech out kept him tied up in loyalty and debt. It's that tricky game of fake care wrapped in real control. In the industry, the line between mentorship and manipulation is razor thin, and Meech's situation proves it. When your personal choices get decided by folks pulling strings in the background, how much control do you really have? Are you a star? Or just a puppet made to dance when the bosses say so? Section 4. Played by Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather. At first, when Lil Meech was spotted chilling with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, it looked like he was breaking free, stepping out of 50's shadow and moving like a boss. But that image didn't last long. Word came quick from behind the scenes. Ross and Floyd weren't backing him to rise. They were just using Meech as a pawn to take shots at 50 Cent. That whole vibe, it wasn't about helping Meech win. It was about weaponizing him in an old-school feud. You wasn't supposed to be in that yard, insiders whispered, pointing at how messy it got. And when the spotlight cooled off, Ross and Floyd ghosted him. No more features, no more shout-outs, just silence. Left him stranded and exposed like he never mattered in the first place. Meech thought he was making moves, but turns out he was just a piece in a bigger power game. That switch-up didn't give him control. It stripped it away. This whole fallout put the truth out there. Celebrity culture ain't about loyalty. It's about who can use you best and dump you faster. Young and hungry talents like Lil Meech often get pulled into industry beefs they barely even understand, then tossed out the second they stop being useful. One minute, you're the golden child. The next, you're just another name left in the dirt. What happened to Meech ain't just some drama. It's a warning shot to every up-and-coming artist in the game. Just because someone offers you a hand doesn't mean they're really trying to help. Meech's downfall shines a brutal spotlight on how this industry really works, where young stars are treated like disposable tools, used for their moment, milked for clout, and tossed out the back door when the shine fades. Section 5. Did 50 Cent cross the line with Big Meech? Things went from wild to straight savage when 50 Cent took the drama to a whole new level, this time aiming straight at Big Meech, Lil Meech's father. Out of nowhere, 50 accused Big Meech of cooperating with the feds, basically throwing out the dirtiest label in the game, snitch. Big Meech didn't stay quiet for a second. He clapped back hard, calling the snitch talk pure lies. He made it clear he'd rather die than ever turn on his people. That statement hit deep. But 50 wasn't done. Not even close. Instead of backing off, 50 turned up the heat. He dropped what he claimed were official court papers for the whole world to see. Documents that he said proved his accusations. And that bold move got everyone talking. Was 50 really out here searching for truth? Or was this just a straight-up power play? Most folks saw it for what it really was. A cold shot. Not at Big Meech, but at Lil Meech. It was like 50 was saying, I can shake your whole legacy if you cross me. That wasn't about facts. That was about flexing. This dirty move hit deep. It dragged private family loyalty into public chaos and left Lil Meech in an impossible position. If he stood by his father, he'd risk going head-to-head with one of the most powerful names in the game. But if he stayed silent, it would feel like turning his back on the man who made him. No matter what move he made, it was a trap. And in the end, 50's ruthless stunt crossed a heavy line. It wasn't just business, it was personal. It showed just how cutthroat the entertainment world gets when egos, loyalty, and legacy are all on the chopping block. Section 6. Jealousy, fatherhood, and a broken bond. One of the wildest claims came straight from 50 Cent's own mouth. He said Big Meech was jealous of the bond he built with Lil Meech. That bombshell cracked the whole situation wide open and showed this mentorship wasn't just about business, it was personal. Real personal. Insiders say 50 knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't just play the mentor role, he slid into that father figure space, stepping in like a surrogate dad and feeding into Lil Meech's emotional need for guidance and loyalty. But it wasn't just care, it was control. That jealousy claim wasn't random, it was a weapon, a way to stir tension between father and son. If what folks are saying is true, 50 was using fatherhood as a power move, pulling Lil Meech closer while slowly pushing Big Meech out of the picture. That's not mentorship, that's manipulation. Creating distance between a father and his son just to keep the loyalty locked in? That's a dark, twisted tactic. This whole situation shows how celebrity mentorships can get ugly fast. When personal agendas start outweighing actual care, it stops being about growth and starts being about ownership. If 50 really was driving a wedge between them on purpose just to keep Lil Meech under his thumb, then we're talking next level coldness. That's when you realize even the people claiming to build you up might be the ones breaking you apart from the inside. Section 7. Instagram wars and public humiliation. And it didn't stop behind the scenes. This war went fully public. Instagram turned into the battleground, and 50 came out swinging. He clowned Lil Meech for blowing through his money, living reckless, and making dumb moves. But this wasn't just trolling. These jabs were strategic hits. Every post, every meme, every shady caption, that was part of the play. 50 was tearing down Lil Meech's image, one roast at a time. And the fans? They ate it up like it was a comedy show, laughing, reposting, reacting. But they didn't realize they were watching a takedown in real time. This wasn't just about making fun of Meech. It was about showing the whole industry what happens when you step out of line. 50 wasn't cracking jokes. He was sending a message. Cross me, and I'll humiliate you in front of millions. It was a power flex, and Lil Meech was the example. So when 50 Cent put Lil Meech on blast across social media, it wasn't just personal. It was a public warning. The message was loud and crystal clear. Cross me, and you're next. Instagram wasn't just a platform anymore. It was 50's battlefield, and he played general like a pro, running psychological warfare on Lil Meech while flexing for the whole industry to see. Each post was a calculated strike designed to crush Meech's rep and remind everyone who really holds the power. This wasn't clout chasing. It was a straight-up mind game. And just like that, the world saw who ran the board. Section 8, Lil Meech's panic mode. Can he bounce back? Now, Lil Meech is out here trying to clean up the wreckage, broke, isolated, and dragged through the dirt. Dude scrambling, reaching out to old connects, hoping to save whatever pieces are left of his career and his name. And these desperate moves, they show he's finally realizing how deep the rabbit hole went and how fast the industry turns cold when you ain't the one in control. This game ain't made for the soft-hearted. Once you get labeled a liability, they cut you off quick. Meech's situation is a brutal reminder of how fast the same system that built you can break you down. 1 minute you're the chosen one, next minute you're on the outside looking in. Right now, his future is hanging by a thread. Everything depends on whether the real power players behind the curtain decide to let him back in or shut that door for good. Because in this world, forgiveness ain't guaranteed, and second chances come with conditions. So here's the real question. Can Lil Meech make a comeback? Can he wipe off the dirt, rebuild trust, and finally write his own story instead of letting everyone else control it? It ain't just about spinning a clean PR campaign. Nah, it's gonna take real growth, real maturity, and some serious accountability. If Meech wants to rise again, he's gotta show he's not just a name or a legacy. He's gotta prove he's his own man, ready to move smart and stand tall in a world that's always waiting to tear him down. Lil Meech's downfall ain't just about some young star making a few bad calls. It's a straight-up spotlight on the dark heart of the industry. His story pulls the mask off the celebrity world, showing just how ruthless and cold the game really is. Was Meech just a naive kid getting played by industry giants like 50 Cent? Or was he fully aware, rolling the dice and hoping to win big? Either way, the way he's been trying to bounce back, scrambling to clean up his image and fix broken bonds, shows how real and raw the consequences are once the lights dim. Behind the jewelry, the fame, and the flashy lifestyle, there's a harsh truth. Young stars get used up, thrown out, and forgotten the moment they stop being profitable. This ain't just a story about Lil Meech. It's a call out on a whole system that feeds off the youth, then leaves them with nothing. These power games, the silent manipulation, the fake loyalty, it's all part of a brutal cycle that needs to be broken. If there's any lesson in all this, it's that the game needs to change. Artists deserve better. No more pawns, no more setups, just real respect and real protection for the next wave coming up. If you rocked with this deep dive, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear what you think about this whole crazy situation. And hey, we'll see you in the next one.